What if society could be perfectly just? What if our leaders were the wisest among us, guiding us not with self-interest, but with profound understanding and unwavering virtue? Plato's The Republic isn't merely a philosophical treatise. It's a daring vision of an ideal world where justice prevails and wisdom governs. Imagine a city where every individual thrives by performing the role they are naturally suited for, a place where harmony between reason, spirit, and desire is not a distant dream but a daily reality. Dive into Plato's Utopia, a realm where the mind's eye opens to the light of truth, and justice is the cornerstone of all human endeavors. Context and background. The Socratic method and dialogues. Step into the intellectual marketplace of ancient Athens, where a barefoot philosopher named Socrates engages citizens in deep, probing conversations. Plato's dialogues capture these exchanges, creating a dynamic platform for exploring profound ideas. In the Republic, this method comes alive as Socrates debates with his peers, unraveling complex concepts through relentless questioning. Historical and cultural context. Athens, once a beacon of democracy, found itself grappling with political chaos and moral decline after the Peloponnesian War. In this turbulent backdrop, Plato crafts his vision of an ideal society. His reflections are not just abstract thoughts, but responses to the palpable flaws he observed in his city-state. As Athens struggled, Plato sought a path to restore justice and order, envisioning a society free from the corruption and instability that plagued his times. The definition of justice. Thrasymachus and the challenge to justice. In a heated debate, Thrasymachus boldly claims that justice is nothing more than the advantage of the stronger. His challenge shakes the very foundation of moral philosophy. Is justice merely a tool for the powerful to control the weak? Socrates counters with a radical idea. True justice benefits everyone, not just the rulers. This clash of ideas sets the stage for a deeper exploration of what justice truly means. The nature of justice. What does it mean to be just? For Plato, justice transcends mere legal definitions. It's a harmonious state where each part of the soul and each member of society fulfills its proper function. Imagine a symphony where every instrument plays its part perfectly, creating a beautiful and cohesive melody. This is Plato's vision of justice, a perfect balance where reason guides, spirit supports, and desire follows. The Tripartite Soul and the structure of society. The Tripartite Soul. Plato's metaphor of the Tripartite Soul breaks down the complexity of human nature into three distinct parts: reason, spirit, and appetite. Think of a charioteer, reason, steering two powerful horses, spirit and appetite. When all three work in harmony, the chariot, the person, moves smoothly and justly. This internal balance is crucial for personal justice and, by extension, for societal justice. Correspondence to society. Just as the soul has three parts, Plato envisions society with three corresponding classes: rulers, reason, guardians, spirit, and producers, appetite. In his ideal city, each class performs its specific role without overstepping boundaries. This division ensures that society functions like a well-oiled machine, with each part contributing to the common good. Picture a complex clock where each gear and spring works in perfect synchrony to keep time accurately. This is Plato's ideal society, the role of the Philosopher King. At the helm of this ideal society stands the Philosopher King, a ruler whose wisdom and virtue are unparalleled. Unlike ordinary leaders driven by ambition and greed, the Philosopher King seeks the good of all, guided by a deep understanding of the forms, especially the form of the good. Imagine a captain navigating a ship through stormy seas not by guesswork, but with precise knowledge of the stars and currents. This is the role of the Philosopher King. The education of the Philosopher King. The journey to becoming a Philosopher King is long and arduous. It requires rigorous education, starting with physical training and moving through mathematics and dialectics, culminating in the contemplation of the forms. This education shapes individuals who can see beyond the shadows of the material world to the light of true knowledge. Consider the growth of a tree from a fragile sapling to a mighty oak. This transformation mirrors the Philosopher King's development, The ideal society. The myth of the metals. Plato introduces the myth of the metals to explain the natural divisions within his ideal society. According to this myth, people are born with different types of souls: gold for rulers, silver for guardians, and bronze or iron for producers. This myth isn't just a story, it's a social blueprint that justifies and maintains order and harmony. Imagine a garden where each plant is cultivated to thrive in its specific environment. This is Plato's structured society, the role of women and family. In a revolutionary move for his time, Plato advocates for gender equality in his ideal society. He argues that women, if capable, should have the same opportunities as men to become rulers or guardians. Furthermore, he proposes that the guardian class should live communally, without traditional family ties, to prevent personal interests from corrupting their duty to the common good. Picture a beehive where every bee, regardless of gender, works for the prosperity of the hive. This is Plato's vision of communal living. The allegory of the cave. One of the most powerful metaphors in The Republic is the allegory of the cave. It depicts prisoners chained in a cave, mistaking shadows on the wall for reality. The philosopher, who escapes the cave and sees the real world, has the duty to return and enlighten others. This allegory underscores the transformative power of education and the philosopher's role in guiding society from ignorance to knowledge. Imagine breaking free from a dark room into the bright, open daylight. This is the journey from ignorance to enlightenment. Justice in the individual and the state. Justice in the individual. Justice in the individual mirrors justice in the state. When reason rules, supported by spirit and appetite, the soul is harmonious and just. It's like a well-tuned orchestra where every instrument plays in perfect harmony under the guidance of a skilled conductor. This internal balance not only brings personal peace, but also contributes to the broader justice of society. Justice in the state. In Plato's ideal state, justice is achieved when each class performs its designated role. The rulers govern with wisdom, the guardians protect and enforce the laws, and the producers provide for the community's material needs. This structure ensures that the state functions smoothly, like a perfectly balanced ecosystem where every species has its place and role. When each part of society works together harmoniously, the entire community thrives in justice and prosperity. Criticisms of Plato's vision. Plato's ideal society, while intellectually compelling, has faced significant criticisms. Critics argue that it is overly authoritarian, with the Philosopher Kings wielding unchecked power. The abolition of traditional family structures and communal living arrangements are seen as impractical and potentially oppressive. Despite these critiques, Plato's vision challenges us to reconsider the principles and structures that govern our societies. Relevance to modern society. Even with its criticisms, Plato's vision of an ideal society remains relevant today. His emphasis on justice, the importance of education, and the need for wise and virtuous leaders continue to resonate. In a world grappling with political corruption, social injustice, and moral ambiguity, Plato's The Republic offers a thought-provoking blueprint for achieving a more just and harmonious society. Conclusion. Plato's The Republic presents a profound and enduring vision of an ideal society grounded in justice, wisdom, and harmonious order. Through the concepts of the Tripartite Soul, the Philosopher King, and the structured classes, Plato challenges us to envision a world where each individual and society as a whole can achieve true justice. While his ideas may seem utopian and radical, they provide valuable insights into the nature of justice, the role of education, and the qualities of effective leadership. By engaging with Plato's vision, we are invited to reflect on the structure and principles of our own societies and strive towards a more just and enlightened world.